Hi, my name is Jenny and this is Julia. We're both registered dietitians and today we're here with our friend Bill. We're going to do some cooking in the kitchen.
Hi ladies, what are we cooking today?
So today, Bill, we are going to make a healthy chicken, barley, and vegetable soup. And the goal with this soup today is to show how easy it can be to make a balanced meal that contains a great source of protein, lots of fiber from our vegetables and our barley, and that also is something that we can make up maybe once at the start of the week and then have on hand to portion out throughout the week for lunches and suppers as we like.
So what we have in the pot now is we have 3 containers of just a low sodium chicken broth. So let's pour the remaining amount in there.
So that's going to give us about 3 liters, and this is going to be for a soup that will serve 4 to 6 servings or so. So first off, what we would do is we'll get that at a rolling boil, nice and heated up, and then we're going to add our barley. And so we've got 1 cup of barley here, and that can just go straight in as it is.
So a good source of fiber. We pre-measured 1 cup of barley. For anybody who doesn't want to use barley, you can always substitute for another grain option. So maybe like a high fiber rice or a quinoa instead.
Brown, wild rice, quinoa, or even a blend. And then we're gonna pull a little cheat here. I'm gonna put in half a cup of these onion flakes. And so normally we would spend a lot of time and energy at the counter, maybe a couple of tears on something like this. And we've just kind of cut down our prep time quite significantly by throwing in those onion flakes there. So next up we have here our vegetables. So we've got our nicely diced carrots. Sorry, Bill.
That's
a little
all
bit
right.
of splash going on there.
No problem.
And our celery.
So we just used 2 carrots and 2 stalks of celery for this.
So you can put other vegetables in there as well if you wanted, or anything else you could.
Any kind you wish. What we have today is a frozen blend of vegetables, but if you have any canned veggies on hand too, feel free to throw those in.
Yeah, so we've got the diced carrots and celery, and that's a nice flavor base. It's gonna really build the flavor nicely in our pot there. And then on top of that, to get even more vegetables, we're going to add our frozen vegetables here. And so we can just add about 3 cups worth of frozen mixed vegetables, and that's gonna make this soup really, really, really high in nutrition. So then next up we have our chicken, and we used another time-saving trick to make this chicken as well. So as Bill saw me doing earlier there, we started with the whole rotisserie chicken. Then we made some cuts into it and separated the legs and the back from the breast. We took the breast meat and we removed the skin from that breast meat, and then we diced the breast meat up into about 2 cups of diced chicken here. This is a great solution both Jenny and I use at home often.
And even if just using a rotisserie chicken and any other purpose, it's always a good idea to remove the skin just because it is more saturated with fat, and depending on which seasonings are used, it can be quite higher in sodium too. So always a good idea to remove the skin from chicken.
So of course, if you were to do a big Sunday roast and you had chicken or turkey or ham left over, you could include that as well. But this is a way to have a really rich, flavorful soup without needing to do all that pre-cooking of the meats. And so lastly, for a little bit of extra seasoning, can you just pass me the measuring spoons there? We're going to add a little bit of herbs. Now you can do anything that you like. Rosemary and onion is always a lovely combination for a chicken vegetable soup. So we'll just put in a full teaspoon of dried rosemary there. And depending on your tastes and your flavors, this is quite a simple soup, and we've done it that way on purpose to show how simple it can be. But if you prefer other seasonings, you can add a lot of other herbs and spices without needing a whole ton of salt and pepper. And so whenever we can cut down on the amount of salt that we're adding to soups by making them at home and by limiting the amount of salt we need for seasoning, what that'll mean is that we've made a low sodium option for ourselves versus something that we would find in a store or in a can. Oh, my pepper is a little bit stiff. There we go. And we'll put nice and lots of pepper in there to get that nice bold flavor. So then we just allow this to boil up. And how do I tell it's done? Well, when that barley at the bottom of the pot there, I'm just trying to pull some up for us to see, When those little bits of barley have turned nice and soft, then we'll know that it's ready. Now we've made a nice healthy soup, and when we balance that meal out, we could serve it with, for example, some whole grain toast in order to get a healthy
That
balanced meal.
smells very good too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
another thing I do is I often make this in my crock pot at home, so I let it simmer for a few hours, and it really picks up those nice flavors. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
And a crock pot is even more of a time saver, so that you can get this going and leave it for a couple of hours on low, and you come back and your whole house smells delicious.